Starting off, we're here with Jason from Skinny Guy Campers. How's it going, man? You enjoying the show?
Yeah, very much.
Awesome,
We're very much enjoying the show.
What Tacoma do you have? I see this is a TRD Pro.
Yeah, this is our 2019 Taco TRD Pro, and we're very proud of this. Very proud of this.
It looks sweet, man.
Thanks.
What sort of armor do you have on it right now?
We've gone with the CBI on the front, the CBI off-road bumper in the front, factory steps on the side, and we also have a CBI double swing on the back.
Perfect, man. What are you guys doing for suspension system? I see you have something heavy up there. What did you do to compensate for that?
Well, what we did is we bought a kit. It's Old Man Emu. So I did a lot of research and felt like that was probably the best for us.
You got the heavy duty leaf springs?
Yeah. I lived in Australia for about a year, and I thought, I'll just harken back to my days down there, and yeah, went with that one. So,
cool, man. Yeah. What about wheels and tires?
Methods, I like Methods a lot. Toyos, I'm a big fan of the RT. I used to run MTs, but I like RTs a little bit better, a little bit more roadworthy.
Cool, man. And what size are these? Are these 35s?
These are 35s.
They look sweet.
A little bit of trimming and modification, but made them fit. So.
Dude, I love the color combo.
Thank you.
So cool.
Thank you very much.
Now let's talk about this camper here.
Definitely.
It looks so sweet.
Thank you. Yeah, this is our the Skinny Guy Camper model 5.0. We are this is our very first one. So we're in the process of developing our 5.0 model, and imagine taking a truck camper, combining it with a rooftop tent, and building all of those features into something that fits in your garage and is at the height of the top of your cab.
Oh wow, so this will actually fold in and stay at this level right here?
It will, yeah.
That's
It'll
amazing.
Be just this
That's
tall.
incredible, guys.
So it has everything in it. Refrigerator, cooktop, running water, hot water, heat. We have water tanks below. We've got 25 gallons of water capacity below.
Oh, wow.
There's a water pump to pump up to the sink.
Is that inside the deck system or is that in here?
It actually lives in our underbelly, which lives below the floor.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Perfect.
So again, imagine an RV that is smaller than a typical truck camper, but looks like a rooftop tent.
Cool, man. And how many people can sleep up there?
Right now you can fit two and a half comfortably. There's also room on the bench for a smaller individual. Once you're getting ready to bed down at night, you can move the cooktop down and then put some pillows there. Somebody could sleep on that back bench.
Cool, man. Now I see that you have a sliding solar panel here.
We do. We have a solar panel. It's actually a hinged. So the reason it's hinged and not sliding, these are sliding support bars. But the way that this works is it has a hinge point in the center. So when you're camping and the bed is out, or the roof folds out into a bed, you can get solar here.
But then it's charging it the whole time.
Exactly, and then when the roof folds in, this hinges that way so that when you're driving, you're also charging.
That's brilliant.
So, yeah, we tried to innovate upon what was out there already, and this is what we came up with. So.
That's awesome, man. Well, you got yourself a sweet taco.
Thank you very
for
much.
having me.
Thanks, man.
Have a great show.
Yeah, you too. Thanks.
All right, right now we are with Jason here from Overland Eats. How's it going, man? How's the expo so far?
It's going great. It's going great. Enjoying the weather, and it's a good time to be out.
Good to see you again. We had a gnarly situation where we almost lost our fingers. Make sure to check that video on our YouTube channel. Dude, let's talk about your build, man. Tell me, what do you have?
It's a 2017 Toyota Tacoma off-road. One of the key things about this build was it has to fit in my garage. So you'll notice I don't have a ton of accessories up on the roof. Really needed to keep it kind of short to fit in the garage. But yeah, we can walk around if you want. And
yeah, tell me, what do you have for armor?
Yeah, so I've got all CBI armor all the way around, high clearance rear, high clearance front, full skids, and sliders for armor.
Sweet, man. What about suspension system?
So suspension, I'm running a full King suspension. I've got the heavy duty leaf packs in the back. But other than that, it's all Kings.
Who are the heavy-duty leaf packs from?
They're Icon.
Icon?
Yep.
Nice, man. And how are you liking that suspension so far?
It's great. It's great. It does great on the mountain trails, and yeah, it's definitely no complaints so far.
Cool, man. What about your Overland bed rack here?
Yeah, so right here I've got a RCI Metalworks bed rack. When I bought it, there was not a lot of companies making this shorter bed rack. So again, keeps my iCamper a little lower center of gravity, and again, lets me fit in the garage. So yeah, I picked this up a good while back. It was one of my first mods, actually.
That's awesome. That's a great mod to have as your first
For
mod,
sure.
because that allows you to have a tent now.
Absolutely, got my iCamper, love this thing. I did 43 nights in it last year, and I'll probably get close to that this year.
That's sweet, man. What do we have here in the back? I know you have an awesome product here in the tailgate.
Yeah, for sure. I've got the AL Products Off-Road Trailgate. Definitely been liking this. I use it as a cutting board a good bit. Do a lot of cooking out in the mountains, so that really helps me out. And
Is this new?
This is definitely not new. You can see it's got quite a bit of wear and tear on it. The Dometic guys had me out at their booth this weekend for the expo, but this is mine. It's about 4 years old and still runs like a top.
How do you like it so far?
Oh, I love it. I love it. I'll run 3 or 4 of these things when I'm doing a big cookout in the mountains.
I believe the one I have is a 75 liter, man, and I would recommend it all day, dude. Especially when you're out in the middle of nowhere and you can have an ice cream, dude.
Oh yeah, that's the one that's got the freezer in it as well.
One more thing before we go. Jason, tell us a little bit about yourself, man. What do you do?
Yeah, sure. So most weekends I'm cooking up adventures out in the mountains of Colorado for as many people as will come eat. You can find me Overland Eats on Instagram, but yeah, I love cooking and love hosting pop-up dinners out in the mountains. In fact, I just got my chef's knives in. These just came out. I think you guys might carry them at some point soon.
Look incredible. We would love to carry these, man. Wow.
Yeah,
This is awesome.
absolutely.
Well, dude, thank you so much for your time.
Good to see you, man.
I'll take the knife.
Yeah, go ahead.
For the next taco, we're here with Grant. Grant, introduce yourself, man.
What's up, guys? My name is Grant. I'm the marketing manager for Backwoods Adventure Mods. I also run a YouTube channel called Arkansas Off-Road.
Awesome, man. Make sure to check him out. Let's talk about your truck, man. What do you got up top?
Up top, I got the Front Runner Low Pro roof rack. This is not the one with the table. It's the super low slimline roof rack. Zargus box up there, Max Tracks. Got the Front Runner awning right here, camper shell, ARE. Moving back, we have a Backwoods rooftop tent prototype that we're testing. We'll talk about maybe some of the stuff in here. This is my battery bank. I run the fridge off of here when I'm actually sitting and camping. When I'm driving the truck is actually charging my fridge.
That's a sweet setup, man.
Yeah, man, I love it. Trying to be as efficient as possible. Got the propane back here. Got the fridge. If you want to come around here, I'll show you a better look. Everything's riding on top of the deck system. It makes your gear so easy to reach. It's all efficient and super nice. I got the Dometic CFX 345 fridge on a tilting slide, so you can access everything super nice.
That's sweet. I have that same setup, man, and I love it.
Dude, it's killer. I love it.
Dude, so with all this weight, man, what are you rocking for suspension system?
Man, I got the Dobson 112 heavy-duty leaf springs to keep all the weight nice and up. I'm running King 2.5s, Camberg upper control arms, and I'm at 488 nitro gears.
Perfect, man. Now let's talk armor. Let's talk about this high clearance rear.
Yeah, so this is our brand new high clearance dual swing out rear bumper. So everything with Backwoods Adventure Mods, we have steel and aluminum incorporated. So all the doors are aluminum to save weight, again, because these trucks get so heavy, you know. And then the bumper itself is steel, so it takes all the rock hits.
Nice.
It does super well, man. We're loving it so far.
I love it. And what about the doors? Do they have different options on how far they can go out?
Yeah. So we have two different ways you can move this out. So right there is the widest option, and then it locks into a pin, so nice and secure. So when you're on a mountaintop or whatever, it stays nice and stable.
Cool. What about the sliders?
Sliders, man, these are actually just one of my buddies whipped these up. So these are just a thing my buddy did. So we're gonna get into the slider game pretty soon. So
cool, man. And then let's talk front bumper. I know this thing makes the truck look really nice.
Yeah. So this is probably one of our best things for the Tacoma. So again, with our aluminum and steel hybrid, what we do is the whole outer shell here is aluminum. So this entire thing you can take off and hold it just one hand. It's about 26 to 28 pounds. And then we have a steel inner winch cradle here, and that bolts directly to the truck, and then your winch drops straight into the winch cradle, and then you slide the thing over it. So it's 80 pounds total. It's killer.
I was talking to you guys earlier, and I was asking what's the point of these holes here?
Yeah.
Right? And it was really cool to find out what they were for.
Yeah, so you can actually see your winch line getting spooled up through these holes, but also you can access your clutch super easily. So
you don't have to open up the hood and be reaching in there.
You can connect anything you need to right here. Plus, if it gets dirty, you can get the power washer in there. So those holes are really important.
Pretty sweet, man.
Yeah.
What about these lights? These things look sweet.
Yeah, so another thing with our company is Pathfinder. This is our own brand that we've created. So these are the amber lights. We have them available in amber and in clear. And so we have these little side cutouts. So people ask, are these a spot? Are these like a wide beam? What are they? And they're actually a combo. Okay. So these cutouts allow a little bit more light to go out. So it's really focused forward, but we have those as well.
They look sweet, man.
Thanks, dude. Yeah.
I see you also have a Safari air intake.
Oh yeah, got this snorkel. So where I live in Arkansas, we have lots of water crossings, so easily the water gets up to here. And this thing too, this pre-cleaner, people ask me a lot about this. There's a filter in here that spins and it ejects all the dirt and dust and stuff.
It's pretty sweet. I've seen it in a couple rigs and it makes me want to get it.
Yeah.
Still not convinced about drilling into the...
Yeah.
I'm like, not sure yet.
I get it. It's a big commitment.
What about wheels and tires, man? What are you
rocking?
rocking?
Wheels and tires, so these are the KM3s. These are the 34-inch tire, 285, 75, 17 on AEV wheels. And these are the Crestones.
They look sweet.
Yeah, man. You can see I use this truck, man. They've taken some good hits. And
are these true beadlocks?
These are actually their protection ring. So they make a true beadlock.
Okay.
But what you can do is swap the ring out and you can paint them and things like that. There's some other trucks out here that have these wheels, but I'm loving them.
Sweet, Grant. Thank you so much for your time, man. This rig is super nice.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Take care, enjoy the show.
Thanks, man.
Up next, we're here with Mike from Last Line of the Fence. Mike, thank you so much for having us. Well, you're actually at our booth, actually.
Yeah, thanks for having me out at your booth here.
But thanks for doing the walk around with us, man.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's talk about your build. What do you have on for armor?
So for armor, I have actually CBI all around. It's an aluminum. The T3 kind of has the mid brush guard, whatever that's called. And then I have aluminum skids underneath just to kind of keep it light. And I've definitely tagged them a few, maybe throwing some B-roll, but it's held up all right. And then on the sides, I have sliders, CBI sliders as well. And I went for the kick out and the flat, just because I like them as steps as well. I'm getting stuff off my roof rack and stuff quite a bit. I have little dogs that sometimes kind of use them to jump up, so I have the top fill plates as well. And then around back, I have a CBI steel rear bumper, no swing outs or anything. And I kind of don't love swing outs because...
Oh really? You're the first person I hear that doesn't like swing outs.
Yeah.
Why is that?
I use my truck for like truck stuff a lot. I'll throw sheets of plywood in the back or whatever. And with the swing out, you can't have it out when your tailgate's down and open and stuff. So for me, it's just kind of, for overlanding or whatever, it'd be dope.
Yeah.
You get, a lot of times you get a table on there, you get your full-size spare and everything. But for me, I'm kind of like, I still use the truck to haul stuff here and there. So I opted just for the no swing out on the rear.
It looks nice though. It looks super nice.
Yeah, it's clean.
And it's still high clearance rear bumper, so you're going on an
it's still
trail.
steel, so I've tagged that a few times as well. So it's nice. Actually, I kind of was waiting till I basically damaged my stock rear bumper, and that happened pretty quick. So I was like, instead of replacing the stock rear bumper, I'll just beef it up with a full high clearance rear.
Cool, man. So you're fully armored up. Let's talk about this solar panel up here.
Yeah, so up top here, this is a little solar panel from Cascadia 4x4, and it's, I forget exactly, it's 85 or 90 watts of solar right here. And I really love building out my trucks to where I just utilize otherwise wasted space. Like, I wouldn't have anything here, so I might as well throw a solar panel here instead of like the roof, because then I can still throw stuff on the roof and I'm not covering my solar panel or anything. So it's a really cool product. It comes with all the cabling and a little charge controller as well. So I just have it hooked up. I'm running a single battery. I don't run a whole lot of stuff off the truck, but it basically charges, has a little charge controller for the single battery. So that way I can run my camp lights and whatever. I have a Switch Pro that I have powering some USBs, so I can charge my phones or iPads or camera gear overnight. And then I'm never really worried, wake up the next morning, if it's sunny. I usually don't kill my battery, but if I did, this will charge it right back up and then ready to go.
That's awesome, man.
It's pretty dope.
You have some sweet headlights here. What do you have going on?
Yeah, man. So these are courtesy of you. Thanks, Doc. But these are the...
How bright are these? You used to have the other versions.
Yeah, so I've gone through a few aftermarket headlights, and I've had some that weren't that great. I've tried swapping the LED bulbs to them or whatever, and they weren't really geared towards it. Now these ones are the quads, and they're really good. So for a headlight, I really like bright daytime running lights like everyone does. So the daytime running lights are full, super bright, like almost obnoxiously bright, but in a good way. So I really like the bright daytime running lights. The sequential stuff, they get fancy. That's pretty cool too. But obviously the most important thing for me is just a good headlight. I live out in the mountains and a lot of backcountry roads, a lot of wildlife, a lot of everything. So I'm obviously fully kitted for all the lights that I would ever need, but having just a really bright set of headlights that also have a bright high beam like super clutch for me.
Man, since we're talking about lights, tell me, what do you have for your entire light setup?
Yeah, so it's pretty kitted out with lights. I have KC highlights all the way around. So we have the Pro 6 up top. I opted to curve it. You can run that flat or curved with the same bar.
Super cool.
And so when it's curved, it's just like, poof, you see everything, which is again, like pretty clutch for me. I just like having visibility everywhere. And to get even wider, I have the Flex Air 3s on the ditch. A lot of people run these forward facing, but I have so many lights out the front. These are really popping out the sides, so when I'm driving down the trail, I can just see, I can look around, see a campsite over there. Super cool. We have a Flex light bar here, and then G4 fogs. And then we have a couple of little C2 pods all around for just kind of camp floodlights and stuff like that.
Cool, man. One product that I really want to talk about is this antenna right here. What's going on? Why is it so chunky?
So that antenna gets asked about quite a bit, actually. That's for ham radio I have. So I have a little Yaesu FTM 400, and I have my ham operator's license, technician's license. So this is a little stubby antenna, and why it's kind of this way is there's a bunch of antenna kind of coiled up in here to get a certain range without nerding out too much. Different frequencies and do better with different lengths of antenna. So you can kind of coil it up and get it short. So I have this on kind of all the time. With this little stubby one, I'm able to go through drive-through car washes and stuff. But then if I really need more range, I have a traditional bigger antenna. So this just unscrews, and then I can screw the
and you
bigger
just screw it
antenna.
back? Oh,
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah, so I can swap out antennas with the same mount, so it's kind of convenient.
That's pretty sweet, man. Let's go on to the back. Let's see how the truck looks.
Yeah, a lot of stuff going on. So these are Max Tracks. Probably most of you know what they are, but they're traction boards to help you get unstuck. Typically, it's their main use. So I have these mounted up to front runner rack system.
Nice.
And kind of the base of the whole system is this Diamondback truck bed cover. So this is a Diamondback HD aluminum. You can park like 1,600 pounds on top of this. So it's like super robust, but it also makes just a good platform for mounting the racks and everything. So Diamondback truck bed cover, front runner racks, then on top of it is an iCamper or SkyCamp Mini. And I really like hard shell rooftop tents. This one is sized well to fit over a short bed Tacoma, but still allow 2 or 3 people to sleep in. So,
dude, I'm surprised how small it is.
Yeah, it's
and you have
very
space
compact.
for how many people?
Yeah, I mean 2 people comfortably. You could throw a kid in there, a couple dogs or whatever as well.
Cool.
So it's just nice. I like it because it's quick to deploy. I don't like messing with zippers and canvases. Ain't got time for that.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been super clutch to just kind of allow easy, quick camping. It's kind of my jam.
Nice, man. Now with all this weight, what suspension setup did you go with?
Yeah, so we got in the rear we have Dakar, and I went actually for a medium leaf pack with an Ada leaf.
Oh, nice.
So kind of in between HD and medium, I found really nice. It raises the truck about 2.5 inches with how it's sitting right now, like weighed down. And then I have Fox shocks all around. In the back, I just have 2.0s with the remote resi, and then the front 2.5 coilovers with the remote reservoir.
That's sweet. That's a sweet setup, dude. This thing must ride really nice.
It rides nice, yeah. And then in the front, I have SPC upper control arms. They're kind of an adjustable control arm. I'm able to push the caster forward just a little bit more because I'm running 35-inch tires, which we'll probably get into in a little bit. So I kind of need those things pushed up as far as possible.
Yeah, and I know those things do a great job at doing that.
Yeah.
Now, what about wheels and tires? I know we touched on tires a little bit.
Yeah, so wheels and tires, I have black Rhinos, and underneath this wrap is actually tan. So this ring kind of brings a little bit of that tan that I missed when I wrapped it back into the build, which, I mean, I think they look sick. So those are black Rhinos, 17-inch, and I think they're 9.5-inch wide. And on a 35-inch tire, so these are 35 by 1250 BFG KO2s. And I really like all-terrain tires because I live in Colorado and these are snowflake rated, so they can kind of qualify as snow rated tires if you're going through some pass that you need to have snow tires to go on.
Yeah.
So that's nice, and they do pretty good in the snow, and they do well off-road as well.
Cool, man. Before we let you go, if you could give one advice to someone that's just starting out, that's getting into the Tacoma platform, what would that be? Yeah,
so one advice starting out is just it really depends on why you're building your truck. If you just want to kit it out to make it look cool, then that's kind of one thing. It's not my area of expertise, even though it probably looks cool. But if you're trying to get into functional modifications, then I would recommend like doing some research, seeing what other people have done, kind of being able to compare and contrast like what other people have done, what works for you, what works for my, do I really need 35-inch tires or 33-inch tires fine? And then after that, armor is pretty important. Some people wait until they really mess up their body and that gets super expensive.
At least sliders, right?
Yeah.
At least sliders and
yeah,
skids.
so like typically people will say get a better set of tires and then get sliders, because that's going to be the main thing, especially for a longer wheelbase vehicle. When you're going over a rock, coming down and crushing your body would be no good. So for me, again, I went with sliders that come out a little more and are functional as steps, which are a functional improvement. I use them in the day-to-day, get up on the roof rack, whatever, but they're also there protecting my vehicle at all times. So it's kind of what I'm into, yeah.
Awesome, Mike. Thank you so much for your time. Guys, make sure to go check him out. He actually has a whole YouTube page. Most of you probably know him, but he goes more in depth into all the products that he has on his Tacoma. Make sure to check him out. Mike, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me, man.
No, thank you. All right, fellas, and for the #1 Tacoma here on our list is Brett's 2nd gen Tacoma. It's so awesome that a 2nd gen made it all the way to the top. How's it going, man?
Good.
How are you enjoying the Overland Expo?
It's good. It's good. A little hot, a little dusty, but otherwise great turnout. You know, it's good to see a lot of people out again.
Dude, it's awesome, man. I'm super happy for that. Let's talk about your truck, man. What have you done to it? How long has it taken you to build it to where it is right now?
This truck is 9 years old. It's gone through a bunch of iterations. It started with, you know, an old man emu lift kit on 33s and moved to total chaos with 35s, but I wanted more. The truck's heavy, so I needed to make sure it was built right and I didn't worry about breaking things. So we straight axled it. It's got Dynatrac Dana 60s front and back, discs all the way around. It's got 2 transfer cases. It's got an FJ twin sticked and a Marlin Crawler double box in it.
Nice, man.
Hydro assist steering. So it's built to be able to run anything and not worry about breakage. That was the whole basis for doing it. But it took me a good 9 years to get where I'm at.
Well, that's a good time to enjoy the build,
yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, well, you know, you learn as you go too. What works, what doesn't work, what works for you. Oh my gosh, the truck's really heavy now. How do we take care of that?
Exactly.
So.
Now, what do you have for armor?
So I'm actually running Pelfrey built stuff. I was fortunate enough to get, you know, Pelfrey built high clearance rear bumper and sliders and front bumper before they went out of business. I'm very happy with the stuff. It works great. It looks good. I get compliments on it all the time. The nice thing is a lot of this stuff, you know, Banff can get you because they make a very similar product now.
Yeah.
So it is still obtainable.
C4 is also working on one.
C4 has good stuff coming out. I'm a big fan of the high clearance rear bumpers. It gives you so much better departure angle. And these have good entry angles. They just, departure angle.
And then you have the
work.
dual swing outs or the single.
Right,
you know,
yeah.
Which
yeah.
is super awesome for camping.
Yeah, you know, I mean, what works best for you? The single swing out, there's a lot of pressure on that one side. Yep. The double, it takes care of that, but you lose a little real estate. So it just depends on what works for you.
Now, you did mention you had the Old Man Emo BP51 suspension system. What are you rocking now with this current setup?
So I moved back to Radflow. I have a long relationship with Radflow. It was just very easy for me to go back and work with Ryan and Glenn. They make a phenomenal product, and I now have the tunable, adjustable, you know, with the clicky knob on and Radflow, so I can adjust for when I'm driving on the road.
Nice.
To kind of tame some of the travel, and then lighten it up for when I'm off-road. I have over 3 feet of articulation in the front.
Wow.
So when you're driving on the freeway at 75 miles an hour, you know, you want to tame that down so you don't do that on the freeway.
It gets pretty scary, right?
Yeah, it can get sketchy.
What about the steering? The steering, does it?
So I'm a full hydro assist. I have PSC steering, hydro assist. We're running a standard Tacoma pump, or it's actually a Toyota pump, but it's not Tacoma. It's a little heavier duty, and it's been plumbed for hydro assist. The nice thing with the hydro assist is the box itself, I'm not cranking on it when I'm in the rocks and the box is doing it. The hydro does it for me. I actually have a better turning radius than a stock Tacoma.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so, you know, there's bonuses all around on that. So
that's pretty sweet, man. What about for the winch? What are you rocking?
I ran Warn. I've been running the VR Evo 10 synthetic for about 2.5 years now. I was running the Gen 1 Evo with them for a while, the old VR, which is, it's an entry-level Warn. I'm not in a race, I'm not in a competition, so I don't need the fast line speeds. And Warren's never let me down, and I've had them for a long time.
They have never let me down, man.
Phenomenal product.
Yeah.
So.
Dude, real quick, let's touch up on your wrap, man. Let me tell you, this thing looks so sweet. What got you the idea to do it this way?
So I used to race desert long time ago, and so Ivan the Iron Man Stewart was always kind of a, you know, I mean, he's a legend. I mean, who doesn't know who he is? So this is his traditional colors, and when we were getting ready to come out to Expo, you know, it's a white truck. On its own, it's just a white truck. It doesn't really draw any attention. I'm thinking, well, I'm in Expo, I need something to draw attention. I like classic stuff, so.
Well, it definitely looks classic and really nice.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Let's move on to the back. I know you have a topper up here. Tell me a little bit about it. That thing looks massive and heavy.
So it's only about 350 pounds. It's actually quite light.
Wow,
Yeah,
that's really light.
I used to have a rooftop tent up on top of the Prinsu rack.
Okay.
And of course, it was lighter, but I had this huge wind drag. And I noticed that a lot on the freeway. It killed my gas mileage.
Yeah.
So I had to figure out if I wanted to go to something heavier that was way easier to set up too. It takes about 5 minutes to put down and set up. It's super
No
easy.
way.
Yeah,
It looks complicated.
it's not at all. It just folds closed, tuck in the tent, latch it down, you're done. It was heavier, but it was more aerodynamic, so I gained a lot of my miles per gallon back. I get about 14 miles a gallon in this thing.
Oh wow, you're doing better than my third gen.
Gearing, it's all about gearing.
Yeah, that is true. So what are you geared to?
538s.
538.
And I run about 2,600 RPMs at 77 miles an hour. That's my sweet spot. 77, because I'm not trying to shift back and forth. 75, it's like, I'm not sure which gear I'm supposed to be in.
That is really good for this truck, man.
Yeah, I'm very happy with it. Even coming up over the pass from Southern California, coming up over into Denver, I mean, I had to drop down to about 65, but I mean, that's a gnarly grade. So I was happy with that.
Cool, man.
As far as the habitat and stuff, it was all about being as easy as possible to get into camp. I don't want to be complex. I want to get into camp, be set up, be done, and be able to sit around the fire with everybody, have a couple beers, whatever, and relax, because I've been wheeling all day. I'm tired, right? So that was about it. It was, how do I make my wheeling experience to be able to go where I wanted, not worry about things, be able to do really technical stuff if I wanted to, like going to Moab and just, you know, rock crawl. Or just do the nice overland trails that are just scenic and beautiful. Either way, be very comfortable, very happy, and then just have a nice, comfortable setup. You guys should come see the back inside the
Let's
habitat.
go check it out.
This is an AT habitat. It's a topper that folds closed into basically like a regular shell on your truck. It opens up into a tent, so you sleep up here, and you can stand up inside here. Like just, this is a countertop height and bench height, so it's like being at home. This is all goose gear. So I have a couple drawers. This one's accessible from the top when you're locked up inside. This one's not, so I keep tools and stuff in here. Same thing with my fridge, it slides out, but when I'm inside, I can move this cutting board and access everything when I'm closed up inside. So I never have to come out if it's bad weather. This is a living system. This is not just, you know, overnight I need a tent. I can close up, I've got forced air heat, propane heater. It's on a thermostat, it's a Propex, like the old Westphalia vans used to have.
Does it have an exhaust system so you don't?
So what happens is I actually have it mounted underneath the truck, and I put it under rivers and everything. It works. It's an outdoor heater. It's meant to be exposed to the elements. So I have an actual intake inside the truck, so it draws the warm air out, continues to heat it, pumps it back out. And if I have a leak, like you're talking about, like an exhaust, say you have a carbon monoxide leak, it's under the truck, it falls out. We don't have any issues with that. I even have a 3-gallon hot water heater in here. So when I'm driving into camp, I can hit a button on my Switch Pros and it starts heating it up. So when I get to camp, I've got hot water. I can turn it off, it'll stay hot for a couple hours because it's insulated. So I mean, this is just comfy luxury. Oh yeah, you can use a shower, do dishes, whatever. You know, the funny thing is Brian from Goose Gear had this exact setup. And what he did is he actually had a shower pan in the front, so he would shower inside of it. We'd be camping somewhere. I'm like, why is there water coming out of the bottom of your truck? So he asked me if I wanted the indoor shower. I was like, no, that's a little too much for me.
That's wild.
You know, I like simple. I like that kind of stuff. But at the same time, you know, if we're on a 10-day trip, I don't want to start stinking and be like, hey guys, and everybody's looking at me funny. So, you know, you still do the whole military shower, get the rag wet, you know, that kind of stuff. The neat thing about this is there's a room that can be put on this. It just goes on the edge, it goes all the way around, so I can have my privacy right here too. And it's super
like a mosquito. It's got like a mosquito net.
Well, it's a full room that closes in, and then I can actually cheat and put a couple tent poles out and just do them out as awnings on both sides.
No way.
So this thing is, I mean,
it's the dream, man.
Yeah,
this setup is pretty sweet.
It allows me to go wherever I want and then be comfortable when I get there. And the big thing for me was ease of setup. That was always it. How do I get this system so it's super easy for me to set up? I've got a Group 31 AGM battery in the front. I haven't made the switch to lithium. I don't like the fact that they won't charge in low temperature, and we do a lot of winter trips.
Okay.
So the Group 31, it's monitored with a Victron shunt, and it's a DC to DC charger with a C-Tech D250. I've ran C-Tech stuff for like 10 years now. When I was at Goose Gear, we ran nothing but C-Tech. I believe they're using Red Arc stuff now. I like the simplicity of the C-Tech because I'm not an electrical guy, so I can troubleshoot it really easy if there's a problem. Thankfully, I've never had one. The added bonus to it is it's also a solar charger or solar controller. So I just plug a panel in an extension cord and I put my panel down by the tire and I charge.
That's awesome.
If I'm parked in the shade, I can pull my panel over to the sun and still have it in the sun, and then I'm not in the heat.
That's incredible, man.
So that's why I don't like them when they're hard mounted. You know, I have the ability to put it where I want. But yeah, I mean, we're completely self-contained, full goose gear interior. Greg from Wired by Greg did all my electrical stuff for me. Gave me white lights up here, red lights out there, so I can just have the red lights on and no bugs.
Nice.
Run a National Luna fridge and a National Luna touch light for inside, so it runs, you know, I can run it red or white, so I can have red so there's no bugs, you know, that kind of stuff. Because the white light will attract moths. Not like going to sleep and there's moths circling your head.
Dude, all the time,
hell?
man, yeah. It's so annoying. So Brett, tell me, man, if you could give advice to someone that's just starting out their build, they're seeing this incredible build, how do they enjoy the process?
So everybody looks at my truck and they go, oh my God, there's so much money in that truck. There is a lot of money in the truck, but I didn't do it all at once. I did it over time. I started out simple. I found what worked for me and I stuck to that, and what didn't work and I adjusted that. You know, the big thing, like I said, I started out with an old man emu kit, 2.5 inch travel, or 2.5 inches of lift, you know, 33-inch tires. The skinnies, the 255s, so I didn't have to cut and trim anything, and I wheeled and I found out, okay, the skinnies, they slip on rocks. But if you're not a technical guy, it's not a big deal. You get better gas mileage. You're a technical guy, you want to go like a little wider. I kind of hooked up with Falcon at that point. I started running the 285s. I lost miles per gallon, but man, they're a great tire. I'm on 38-inch Falcons now, which, I mean, you can't even buy them.
They look massive.
I wish they would bring them out. They're such a good size.
I know we touched base on the suspension system, and you said you were rocking Radflow, but what are you rocking for the leaf springs to hold up all this weight?
So Deaver, what we did was we went to Deaver, we weighed the truck as it was on a cat scale, and we got the weight. We told Deaver what the weight was, and then when the truck's being built, we told them exactly what was going into it, and Deaver made a custom leaf pack for us. If you look at the springs, I mean, it's a massive pack, but if you know anything about Deaver, that doesn't mean they're stiff. It's very soft, very flexy, but it supports the weight of the truck. So we're running Deavers in the back, Radflow with iBox springs in the front. Originally, when we built it, the truck was really tall, and that was just a no-go for me, as tall as it is. So I made the company that was doing the work for me bring it down lower, which means they had to notch the frame, and they had to be able to allow clearance of the steering components to keep it at that level and maintain all the travel.
Wow.
So we boxed the entire frame in.
That sounds expensive.
We boxed the entire frame in, and they notched it, and they allowed me to have a lower stance compared to the rock crawlers they built. So back to the original question of what advice would I give? Work at it slowly, find what works for you, and then continuously grow from there. This was a 9-year project to do this. I started with the rooftop 10 on the roof and my little 33s. I moved to 35s. I found I liked them a little better, but I didn't like the suspension setup of 35s with the stock IFS and that front diff. It always worried me I was going to break it because of how heavy my truck is. So I'm about 6,900 pounds, believe it or not. I'm a lot lighter than most people think.
Oh, wow, we're a lot similar to your weight limit right now.
Yeah, I was 6,700 wet before we did it. So I'm 6,900% dry, or 6,900 dry.
Yeah.
So it's still fairly light truck for what it is. It was just a process, but don't go buy all the Farkles right away. Figure out what works for you, and then go out camping with your friends, find out what they like, what they don't. We all do that. It's like, oh yeah, the whole bed of the truck's filled. I use 1/3 of this stuff,
So before we let you go, man, do you regret any of it?
No, not at all. I kind of toyed with the idea of, do I need a supercharger because it's so big? It would be a nice thing to add, but it's definitely not a need. I look down, I'm going 85 in this thing going, oh, I need to slow down. This is not a good truck to be doing 85 in. It has plenty of power. It's geared right. Gearing is probably one of the most important things that people don't address.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I would say the supercharger is the cherry on top.
Yeah, exactly, right? It's a luxury item that I want, not a need.
Exactly, man. Well, Brett, thank you so much for your time, man. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.